Hey!
What's up, everyone?
Hello.
What's up, Eager?
Good evening.
Good evening, good afternoon. Wherever you may be.
Good morning.
Oh, good
We're
afternoon.
a bit low on the old numbers tonight.
Yep.
Hello.
Yep.
Good evening, Alex. Good evening, Rob.
Yeah. I think it's because we're actually on time. People aren't used to it. So
The shock of us being on time.
Yeah. Everyone's like, what? What actually started it? Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Who we got in
Kate,
here?
John, evening. Evening all. Tracy. Yes, shock horror. We are on time.
Yeah, there is a first time for everything.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be on time.
That looks like you're getting tortured, Paul.
Does a bit, doesn't it? There you go.
It was better not seeing you.
So do we want to start? Do we want to start with what we're vaping, and we can have Paul start because he's got some dope ass hat he should talk about.
Starting with me then, are we?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So first off, what I'm on this evening is my Silver Siege.
Nice.
With the MetLife Apocalypse up top. Obviously the flag edition. Half moon tip. Running some of Andy's coils in here. They're about 5 months old, but they're still absolutely badass.
I still need Andy's coils.
What else am I on? I'm on my .aio and some Candy Punch juice in that. Where's my other juice? Right, okay. On the King's Shamrock.
Nice.
In my life.
Nice.
Now, up top, you might notice I have a new hat.
Very nice.
One of one.
Sexy.
One of one. So, yeah, I'm officially trying out the new hat to make sure it's
Make sure it
good.
fits.
It looks pretty damn good so far.
And we're actually looking into. Where did he come from?
Oh,
Holy shit! And we're actually looking into having swag available for the leaguers too. So that's definitely something coming up soon. So keep So Zippy, what are you vaping on tonight?
Hold on.
Oh, Andy, what are you vaping on tonight?
Okay, well,
I'm still vaping on my. I'm still on the hammer with the mega cap on top.
Nice.
I've got some of my own series aliens in here. Still on the riding shotgun from Prohibition. Absolutely love this stuff. And then I've got my Team Knocked billet box. I've got the Vape Shell RBA in there. Got half moon tip on top, of course. Yeah, this is a bit of a special one.
Beautiful.
So with this, I've got oatmeal and raisin, the ultimate puff cookie. I've spoken about that juice quite a lot before, so I won't go on about it again. But yeah, I've got that in there, and then I've got my nugget, my dead nugget.
Yes.
Look at that button. Yeah, it's a Concio or Conic. I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
sexiness.
It's this Polish dude. And he does all the inners and everything. He did the doors as well. But yeah, it's a 2020 nugget. That's all been. It's a bit crazy. Like you get a brand new billet box and just rip it to pieces. Seems a bit insane, but yeah. Absolutely love this. And in that, I've got some. It's the raspberry cream from the King's Collection, which is really, really nice. And I've got half moon tip on top again. I've been trying out quite a few different tips and stuff on these. And I keep coming back to the half moon, the baby beast size, rather than the regular 510. I don't know. They just look really good, low profile, and yeah, I just prefer them. I think. Don't know what, but yeah, that's it for me. Just them three.
And Zippy.
Grip with Vitality. Customary off me my and there's Andy's calls in there with Still on the 6 on the Beach by Electrovape. Old Faithful as normal. That one's imminent. And I've got the Cranky Custard from Chuck Clouds on there.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
So, trying then again Andy's calls in that one.
And Chris.
I'm a little unprepared today, but yeah, I'm on my Duff Pro with me 3 Max Pro, and in that I'm on my Dripax Blood of Vikings, which is it's a few months state. 22nd of the 8th, 2019. I made that, and that's it.
It's deep in a good while.
Yeah, just a little while.
A little bit. Okay, so me. Woo. All right. I'm actually on the new Fatal by QP.
Yeah,
I really,
Nice.
I love
actually
it.
really like this
Really,
mod.
really nice.
Got the ODB wraps on my 21700s. I actually got the new Falcon 2.
Nice.
And like always, half moon on everything.
Yep.
And I'm drinking I got the tank full of Nilla Killer by Paradigm.
Mm.
Vanilla bean ice cream with a creamy vanilla bean ice cream wafer.
Can't beat a creamy bean, man.
No, it's good.
Oh yeah.
And like always, thanks to fucking Vinny, I got hooked on this little guy. With my Sad Boy Strawberry Blood and 6.
Yeah, I need to try some of these new flavors from Sad Boy. You know.
They're really good, man.
Yeah, I love Sad Boy. Sad Boy's great juice.
And then the mech I'm using is a beautiful brass Haka that I just polished with my Turk V2 and like
Nice.
always, brass half moon tip.
Is that the is it 264? Is that what they're called?
A 464.
464.
Yeah.
And I'm dripping.
I always say. Yeah. You said to me before about that juice.
Yeah, butterscotch frosted flake.
Oh, that sounds nice.
It's amazing. I'm hooked on it. And I think we just got Vinny left.
We have. First of all, tonight I'm just going to give a mention to someone who the vape community has lost in the UK, Gavin Thomas. Thoughts from all the panel and everyone go out to Gavin's family and his little kiddies. He unfortunately lost his fight with a lot of ill health for his early hours of this morning. So
That's sad.
yeah, thoughts and prayers go with the families. Anyway, just for Rabbit, I'm on the new Fetch Pro. It takes the 18650. Don't like the colour, but the device is rather nice. And in there, I've got some Vaporoni Blue Slush, which is quite a sweet blue slush. It's quite nice. It's different.
I haven't had any blue slush for ages.
I think that I can call this my bastard setup. I've got the Geek Vape Ages X. Oh, that looks funky on the camera. But with a Smog Tier V16. That's why I'm calling it my bastard setup. And in there, I've got some Dark Star Domino Stein. I couldn't honestly tell you what the flavour is. I just know it's sweet and it's rather yummy. And my mechanical setup tonight is this.
Nice.
The little SQ Golf Pro clutch with Thai APOC. Probably the smallest 21700 mechanical device there is. And that's what I'm running tonight, fellas.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually watched a bit of Jay Hayes's review on the clutch, and he actually said that he couldn't find anything negative to say about it. I was like, wow, like that's probably the highest praise anyone ever could get.
I'm actually quite impressed with it. I'm yet to review it, obviously, because I've only had it a couple of days. But I've been running it today, and yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, they look like a nice, tidy little mod. You know, nice and compact. And yeah, I've seen quite a few people have already got them. You know, there's a lot of people, so I think they're going to be quite popular.
Yeah, I think they're sold out in a lot of places already.
Well, yeah, and at the moment, like you say, they are made. They're made in China, or certain parts of them are made in China. So you know that'll probably stay and like that until China's not on lockdown anymore. You know.
Yeah, the whole place is, isn't it now?
Yeah, just a touch.
Can anybody? Chris looks like he's filming a Most Haunted episode.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's so cold out here.
Did you hear that?
Like the Blair Witch.
What was that?
Did you hear that? What? You kicking that stick?
Give him a little stick.
Do you know, like with the Blair Witch, loads of people actually thought that was real. Like they actually thought that shit was real. You know, like even years later, they thought that stuff was like they thought it was a real, true story.
Yeah, it was hilarious. All right, so Vinny, if you want, I can kick off a topic I have been sitting on.
Let's do it, Robert. Let's do it, brother.
All right. Okay, so I actually just been noticing things throughout the past weeks or so, and where is that noise coming from? Hold on, I gotta find this noise.
This is what I'm saying. Like this is what I'm trying to work out. If you look in the private chat, you'll see. Like I'm going, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, I can hear a lot of noise.
It keeps coming and going. It's gone again now.
Well, I'm checking mics.
Yeah, he's checking them one by one.
But now I don't hear it.
No, we don't.
Because Zippy's just turned the fan heater off underneath his desk.
Zippy,
He's bloody Zippy back. Wow.
If you look in the private comments, you can see Zippy. Can you see private comments? It's me because I was going to say turn that fucking fan heater off.
oh, man.
Got to keep his giblets warm.
Ain't it, man?
Last week he sat there in a t-shirt with a fan heater on. Like, do you know what I mean? Making all that noise. Just put a jumper on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Zippy heater again.
See, if you'd have asked Tracy, she'd have told you.
Yeah, she knew.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. Anyway, carry on, Rabbit, mate.
All right. So I actually have I'm trying to find all my stuff. Okay. So I've just been noticing a little bit of negativity throughout different groups and pages and posts and comments and things like that. And it was kind of wearing on me this past week. I talked to a couple of y'all about it. It seems like it's starting to become a thing again. Like it's almost like it's being like I don't know. I don't want to say it's thought out, but it's like people are starting to turn back towards, you know, going against each other and starting stuff for no reason and bad mouthing each other and things like that. And I just want to address it because I feel like we've got a pretty decent following and maybe people will listen to us. And I also want to hear everyone's point of view. So I'm just going to read it how I wrote it down. Basically drama in the industry. And what is y'all's opinion on the things that you're seeing right now? And it doesn't matter who answers. I just want to get a conversation going and see what we can come up with.
Okay, then I'll go. Right.
Go on, then.
I'd see over this side, I see it a lot different to how America is at the minute. America's become very infighty and everything else. We do have some of that over here, but as a whole, I think it's getting better in the groups over here. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we only see part of what you see. Likewise, I'm sure you do with us.
Yeah.
But one thing that we've got to remember is with all the crap that's been going on lately, I have seen a few groups where there seems to be an anti-vape group that seems to be popping up in little pockets. And I think that's where some of the negativity is coming from. It's not so much vapers. I think some of it's these nasty little pockets that crept in under the radar while everyone was busy with everything else into the members of the group. And some of them are prolific in, anti-vape, and yet they're still being kept in the group. So, it's half and half, I think. I think as a whole, the community's changing, and it's changing in a good. There's been a good upturn just recently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's more our side. I think you in the American groups, it's quite different. Like you hinted at there.
I honestly think
Has that not always been the case?
There's always been some, but I think it has a lot to do with the stress that, a lot of the vapors are under over here with all of the bans and flavor bans and constant negative talk about our industry and the thing that we love. I feel like that we have to find a way to get around that shit. I think there's always going to be them petty people that can't help but do stuff like that. But I think if the majority of us stick together and we show them that, look, regardless of what kind of mod you're using, what kind of juice you vape, like regardless of any of that shit, we all fight together. I think that will help. I think that I've actually started a little campaign myself. When I see the stuff like that, I try to go in there and comment something positive, like try to swing the path of the comments. Like I might go in there and say something like, why don't we focus on what we can do to fix this, or whatever it is, like whatever the thing is. And I think that people don't understand that. I've been saying this for a long time. Positivity breeds positivity. That's something that I believe in. And I think that if we show people something positive, something different, something, that's gonna go towards, and I don't want to sound corny and be like love, but it's the truth. Like we have to love each other, man. And if we can focus on doing stuff like that, I think it's gonna kind of leak off onto other people, and it will start to spread to where we can make a difference. If we keep focusing on the negative, we're gonna self-destruct. Like we're pushing ourselves over the edge, and really we should all be building a fucking wall, fight the stuff that we're fighting together as a unit, and stop trying to push the other guy over the fucking ledge. Like it's mind-blowing to me.
I mean, are you seeing this more on like particular pages that are like for one brand? Do you know what I mean? It's like on their pages, or is this just on vape groups in general? Like, like general vape groups, like that are not owned by a brand or anything like that. They're just normal vape groups. Because I don't know what the rules are, for a lot of the other vape groups, but with any of the groups that I'm involved with in the UK, and elsewhere, there's a strict no bashing policy. There's a no bashing, no drama, no elitism, no. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and if somebody starts that, then it gets stomped out pretty quick. So I think some groups are maybe letting this drama take place, maybe even instigating it themselves to try and get activity on their pages. I mean, I used to do it on Vape Den every now and again. If it went a bit dead, I'd start the whole clone debate. I mean, look, if you want to get a thread going, like a post going, that you're going to get at least 100 comments and this, that, the other, ask what people's opinions on clones are, and you will get everybody will start arguing and this and that and the other. It will cause a load of activity on your group. So I think that maybe it's the owners and the admins on the vape groups, maybe the perpetrators really behind this, because they're allowing it to happen. Let's not forget, there are admins, there are, moderators that are supposed to stomp on shit like that. And I honestly don't believe that they're doing it, So, well, that was actually the second part of what I was going to bring up.
it seems like there are companies that are pushing the negativity to help sell mods. Like it's you start this little battle between each other, and then you get all your boys jumping in that are like, yeah, fuck those guys and fuck these guys, and well, they use this and they use that, and all it's doing is hyping everybody up to go purchase more mods so they can have the new shit to show them, hey, look at my dope new shit. And if everybody fucking stopped bickering and came together,
it's like a team sport. You got supporters of one team, followers of another team, and like they're turning into football hooligans on the groups, and they're all arguing with each other. And they've got no real differences other than the brand that they choose to either support or whatever, you know. And this to me is just, you know, arguing for the sake of arguing. It's just, you know, everybody always thinks that what they, negative marking, it does drain the
AMC.
acapella, you know, and, you know, but there are people that will do it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's a lot of people that say, look, you know, there's no such thing as bad publicity. You know, and that's how some companies look at things. Exactly. You know, the more controversial, the better.
Would the whole vape scene on social media not be better if there was no such thing as teams? I know you guys, a lot of you guys are in teams and have been in teams. I've never done that myself.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't say all teams.
No.
You know, the ones that I represent and have done for a fair while, all of their ethics behind why they're here, and, you know, you don't get any of that.
Nah.
You know, not that. You know, the first thing they'll do is the first rule of anything is you don't cause drama.
Yeah.
How you react and how you know, behave reflects on everybody. It reflects on the whole. I don't like the team persona. You know, we are families within a. You know, we are tight knit. You know, Andy, you know yourself. You know, Rabbit, you've been part of a fair few teams. Paul, they are family units.
Yeah, and
not being funny, if ever I've said anything out of place on a post or anything that's one of them the team, they've all steamed in and had a go at me over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They won't tolerate it.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, even if you're on a team, that's fine. But the people that are above it, man, like the people that are in control of that, they have control to stop that drama. Like they can. You can say, listen, we either do all positive posts and we build each other up and we help fight together, or you're off the team. Like it's super simple. And if I had a brand that I owned or represented, I would want every single person that represented my company to represent it positively and in a good manner, so it's good for the public. I want people to see my brand as I am. And I feel like if we allow people to get to that gang member mentality and keep, you know, well, fuck you, you don't use what I use, and fucking and it's going to end up becoming worse and worse. I remember 5-6 years ago when we used to travel for events and go to comps and shit like that. Everyone would hang out with different mods. We'd fucking have a good time. We'd poke fun at each other, but it was never serious. Like it was always just having a good time and in competition. Yeah. And now it seems a lot more fucking serious, man. Like people are legit. Like I can't stand this fucking guy because he reps this company. But you don't even know that fucking dude. You don't like him because he's wearing a hat of a company or he's on the team of a company that's a competitor of the company that you rep. And that's stupid to me. Like we have got to let that shit go, and we've got to start focusing on a fucking way to fix it.
You know what? Anybody that's got that type of mentality, they don't deserve to be on it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if that's all they're going to do is be negative and cause shit, then they ain't got no place in the vape community like that, you know?
No.
So, you know, that's nice to know, Josh. Soaking wet already. Like, I know I'm pretty, but, you know.
But yeah, I mean, the one group I was part of admin on, the main guy that ran it, that started it, expected all the other admin to actually cause drama, to cause fights with like other members and the
Yeah.
other admin team, and just to keep up the activity and like people talking. It's like, why? Why
Look,
cause fights and arguments just for the sake of activity?
Yeah, I had to kick a mod for arguing with me on the group, like on my group. He was arguing with me, like literally on one of the posts, and I was just like, what, like what the fuck?
So,
Yeah.
Mr. Cadger, we're not particularly talking about reviewers, and I'm not going to go down the route of slagging off other reviewers. I'll leave that to them. They do enough of that as it is. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to say to that.
Yeah, I don't know it. None of us get paid.
I'm sorry.
Like, so do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not charging anybody for anything.
Exactly, Nick Hurst, man.
Like,
so
Yeah,
what I was going to say was, I'm not going to name any brands, but I know for a fact back in, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago or so, there was a couple companies that the higher ups actually got together so they could have basically made up drama because it helped stir up the market for more mod sales. Like, that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Like, I really believe that if we all came together and were positive and worked with each other, that we could make a big difference, man. Like, seriously.
The thing is, there's a piece of the market for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Big time.
In the grand scheme of things, there's enough room for everybody in there.
see, the thing is there is a little bit of fun to be had. Like, we do it in the group chat and shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we're just about what each other's using. Normally, take the piss out of Vinny because he's always using some smoke, whatever you want to call it, shit. And we all just have a laugh and a joke.
Thanks, bro.
Big difference between that and what's going on. I mean, it's been completely how can I say, like, and a lot of these people as well, I've noticed that, like, there was one captain from a company who started sounding off a little while ago, and he was new. Like, I'd never heard of this guy, do you know what I mean? And like, so I think he was just doing it for the controversy to get himself noticed a little bit, but that didn't really do him many favors, because like, no, nobody wants to hear that kind of negative bullshit.
No. The thing is, the vape community is waking up a little bit now. And, they're realising that, we can't continue along the path that we are doing. And it's nice to see a lot of people that wouldn't generally speak out sort of taking a pop at some of these trolls on the groups and stuff, you know what I mean? And not just to jump in and, join the what's it with it. They are, literally jumping on and saying, you know what, just shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? So that is getting better over here, I think, from what I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's definitely turning a tide. I just felt like I noticed a lot of negative comments on negative posts and negative, like, attacks on people. And I felt like we needed to at least bring it up and let people know, don't go on that fucking route again. We don't need to go back to that shit. We have to be focused on people.
If I do a post on Instagram and I start getting negative comments and stuff, I delete the comments and block that person, because I won't even engage them in that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they're going to do.
No point feeding the troll.
Yeah,
Just let
like,
them, you're gonna get rid of everyone.
9 times all I'll do is turn around and say, thanks for your opinion. End up.
I don't even do that. I just block
You know
them.
what I mean? I will be courteous to the trolls, but I'll do it in such a way that it's like, you know what? Say what you want. You want to come and slay one of my posts? Carry on. I don't give a monkeys. But I'll thank you and move on.
Like John just said there in the comments, whether it's a £500 setup or a £10 setup, it doesn't matter. It's as long as it's helping, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, vape at the end of the day.
It's a vape at the end of the day.
The days of what you're using and this shit and the other, man. You know what I mean? It's one of them now. It's just getting to the point where we're all fighting for the same thing now. We're fighting for vapors as a whole. And, it doesn't matter whether you use a fucking you know, mech, pod, fucking regular. As long as you're vaping, man, that's all that matters. And the more you can show a positive side to that and show it for what it is, you know, the more people you're going to encourage, the more people you're going to sort of.
Definitely.
I like to be careful of how I say encourage, man, because we don't want to take up vaping. We want to offer it as, you know what I mean, another option for them. So I do try to be careful how I word that encourage. We have to keep it politically correct.
Yeah. So I was going to say that
Background, mate.
I do have a good mission for all of the leaguers this week. If you're out and about, or if you're on social media, or if you go to a shop or anywhere and you see a vapor in need, give them a hand. It's real simple. It'll take a couple minutes of your time. You might educate them on something they didn't know about, and they might turn around and do the same thing to somebody else. If we keep doing stuff like that, it's going to continue to roll. Same with the negativity. If we allow negativity to take over our industry, it's going to roll and it's going to destroy it. If we do it with positive, it's going to continue to do the same thing. Just pass it along, guys. Get out there and help somebody that maybe don't have a chance to help themselves, or educate somebody.
The thing is, you've got to remember, you know, nobody knows everything. The amount of times that I've asked a question and I've learned something and been schooled on things, you know what I mean? It's one of them. You know, and your knowledge is way better than mine. And you know, some of the conversations we've had, and you've taught me, and you've sort of, you know, ironed a few things out for me. It's like, you know, it's surprising what you can actually learn by getting to talk to somebody.
And the thing is, as well, is people should not. Yeah, I know everything. Do you know what? Like, you shouldn't limit it just to vapors either, because this could be a shop owner. It could be. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you could, like, if you can help somebody in the community, anybody at all, do it. Tracy, all my expensive mods are locked away in the cupboard. Yeah, I mean, I'm always happy to help anyone as well, you know.
Yeah, we've told you guys this before, but we mean it. Every one of us that you see on this panel, if you needed something, you could hit us up. Like, matter of fact, I guarantee you there's 2 leaguers in the chat that will contest to that, because they have hit me up and I've helped them multiple times. Like, that's what it's supposed to be about. We got to be there for each other, man. So get out there and be there for somebody this week, and then you can tell us about it next Sunday.
Yeah. Go out, make it your mission this week to do something positive, you know, and to try and combat the negativity that's going on, because really that's the only thing that can defeat the negativity is the positivity, you know, and that is how it's got to go.
It's what we can all do, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's easily done.
See that Nick Bradley Sutton simply taught me how to use a Mac. I feel sorry for you, mate. If you need any,
if you need any spare parts, ask him. You'll be able to go.
I mean, I'd been using a Mac for 12 months, and I was still learning. You know what I mean?
Learning.
So
what it is that you're doing, the day you stop learning, right? The day you stop taking in information and other people's point of views is the day you become ignorant, right? You know, and the day that you become completely, like, you know, I am quite happy to be proven wrong about certain things. Do you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, that's how you've got to be. Don't be afraid to put your ideas out there either. It's something that I've seen a lot of people, and they don't like, you know, they don't like to put their ideas out there to get shot down. Do you know what I mean? So step out your comfort zone. If you see somebody that needs a bit of help, or you think you can help them, then do it. You know,
just strike up a conversation.
Exactly, like this.
Yeah,
this is
that's all you need to do.
Yep, my 10-year-old drew this at school.
Nice.
And it goes for everything.
Yep.
Let's see.
Perfect. Exactly what we should be doing.
Vinny.
Yeah. Yes.
Before I forget, do me a favour. That little matter that popped up just.
Yeah.
Remind me tomorrow, man.
Yeah, I will do. That's Tracy, by the way.
That's down to me. Yeah, I've also got the other two for what's it sort. So that was my fault.
I've done it. I've helped people out. I've given them stuff, juice for nothing. I've done all kinds of stuff like that, and I'll continue to do it as well, even though I've had some of that kindness returned with a big fuck you.
Hell yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I won't let it stop me from doing what I do, and being who I am.
Exactly.
Ooh, Ryan's got magical bollocks.
Phantom wanker. I see the comments are heading towards the gutter.
Yeah. Here we go.
It's the halfway mark of the
Is that-
show, so that's what it is.
Yeah.
Every
Now it starts to
We're
get
nowhere
downhill.
near the halfway mark.
Hey, I was going to bring up something in case there's any shop owners that watch our show. Maybe they can do the same thing. But I'm building something at the house, and we're going to start offering a recycling program for juice bottles, coils, and batteries. So when people are finished with bottles of juice, we're going to have a specific bin for each thing, and we're actually going to take our personal time to get them, take them to the recycling plant. I think it would be a positive way to help keep the trash down as far as vape is concerned. And it's another thing we can use, like, hey, look, cigarette butts are all over the place, but over here cleaning up by vaping. So we're going to try
That's a wicked idea.
In the UK to chuck a cigarette butt on the floor for a while now. Like, if you get seen by anybody chucking a cigarette butt on the floor, you get fined. That's standard in the UK, but you still see loads of cigarette butts everywhere.
Nick, real quick, we actually have a place over here that actually recycles batteries. I don't know if y'all do there, but normally any shop that sells a lot of batteries, they should batteries.
I know Asda, they have in the foyer, they tend to have little buckets where you can put your batteries in. It doesn't matter if it's like little Poundland ones that you've bought or even Vape ones, you can put them in there. They get sent off and recycled, whatever. After that,
just don't put car batteries in it. They don't like that.
Most places in the UK, you'll have a recycling centre. There's one down the road from me. You go there, and they've got different sections of different stuff, and they've got one that's specifically for batteries. So there's a lot of little Tesco's, any of them sort of places, they've got recycling stuff. What I would say though is if you're going to put any vape batteries in them, wrap them up in something, put them in a bag of some kind.
Bit of tape around the top. You don't want those things going off.
Just make sure they're not going in there in a way that they could actually make contact. Because that could be quite hazardous. Vinny's frozen. Now he's back again.
Someone's having an angry wank again.
Yeah,
Vinny.
But yeah,
Tracy, you can use a cigarette lighter, but you got to be really careful and just kind of stay away from it. Like kind of, you know what I'm saying? You just want to heat the wrap up enough to shrink. You don't want to hold it.
Buy a hairdryer.
I literally use a hairdryer.
Buy a hairdryer.
Dude, it's super fucking easy. I've been vaping for over 6 years, and I've used a lighter for 3 of them. I was done with the lighter.
Yeah, I've got a hand blowtorch that I use sometimes. You
just got to be
I did feel a hairdryer.
like that. Easy.
And this is why Andy doesn't have
I don't need a hairdryer, so but I stole one of my ex, specifically just for doing batteries. Because
Is she using it at the time, AMC?
That's disgusting. Acapella coming in here going hard.
Well, I don't know.
I went down the recycling plant with a big black mamba.
Or a still no.
Alex uses the
Alex Bird used the hairdryer, but what do you use on your batteries?
Yeah.
So, Vinny, didn't you say you had a topic you want to talk about today?
Well, I was going to mention about Oregon have now banned the online sales, haven't they, and telephone sales of all vape products, particularly supposedly aimed at tackling the youth vaping issue, which is again being overplayed quite dramatically in the States. It's also been mentioned in the UK now about the youth use of vapes as well. But obviously, if you've seen the LXV page or in the group, we have actually shown some graphics about youth vaping in the UK. And it's very minimal compared to the States. But yeah, it was the Oregon banning the online sales and telephone sales. How they're quite going to police that, I have no idea.
They'll probably
Is it possible to
probably block the website addresses and things like that, like Virgin Media does here. If you try to go on, say, a torrent site, it shuts it down. Similar sort of thing. They'll just put a bit of code on the provider's end.
Yeah, it'll literally be where when they put in their address, it's gonna make it to where we can't ship to this address because you're in a state that has a ban on online sales.
It's the same as the flavor bans. Like, for example, you can't ship juice to the Scotford flavored to Rhode Island, or whatever.
That's to Alex's question about using electrical tape on tears on his
computer jumped and froze.
I mean,
yeah, we don't recommend it.
No, don't recommend it. If that's the case, bro, then do you know what I mean?
Just hit one of
If
us
that's the case,
we can send some
drop me another message and I'll post you some wraps.
Yeah, I'll send you some wraps for free, man.
I'll send you a pack of ODB wraps.
So I've got some I can send him out.
I've got hundreds of packs of ODB wraps here. I've got no problem at all. Sticking them in an envelope and putting them in the post. That's not a problem.
So Benny, my thing about Oregon is they're going about the youth thing back asswards, if you ask me. Like,
yeah,
if you're gonna go after like nothing, okay, I actually don't know how to word this to where it doesn't sound wrong, but absolutely nothing that we do to regulate this industry is going to stop kids from getting something that they want. It was the same concept when we fucking outlawed alcohol. It's the same concept when we outlawed marijuana. Fucking all of that shit was illegal at one point, and people still used it drastically. When I was a kid, and I was in middle school, and I was in high school, I still smoked cigarettes. I still drank alcohol. Nothing they did stopped that. The only thing they could possibly do to help curb youth vaping is start educating the fucking parents and have the parents do their fucking job. That is their job.
Now,
it's not our job.
What I will say as well is a lot of the youth that are getting these products, it's their parents that are buying them for them in the first place, or one of their friends' parents. I mean, I know that when I was younger, that everybody's group of friends, they all had somebody's mum or dad that would go to the shop or whatever and get cigarettes, get booze and stuff like that, So it was coming directly from one of the, do you know what I mean? From an adult, It wasn't like we were going in and buying stuff ourselves. We were getting around it that way. Kids will just get it for out of state. It's easy. So many online vendors in the States surrounding Oregon. Yeah, but if they get blocked from, like, I know, Vic, that I've got friends in Rhode Island that can't get any juice companies to ship anything that's got a flavour in it to Rhode Island. They just won't. They can't do it. Although there might be some out there, but I think they're putting themselves at risk. I imagine there'd be some sort of penalty involved if they got caught shipping to a state where the online sales are banned. Well, I assume so anyway. Because if legislation been put in place, then what is the penalty? Actually, saying that, what happens if somebody gets caught selling, selling something online into one of these states? What happens to them?
It's like a fucking misdemeanor or something. I can't remember. I know that you get like 2 or 3 strikes. Like it's like I don't know, man. In my opinion, I just think the parents should be held accountable for their fucking kids. Like, if my kids do something stupid, I want to be held accountable for that because it's my job to teach my children. Like, that's what aggravates me. It's not our government's job to parent our kids, man. Like, people wake the fuck up. Like, you're putting it out, you're destroying a whole fucking industry that helps adults, tax-paying adults that choose the fucking vape. And you're destroying that because you can't parent your own children. Wake up. Do your fucking job.
I remember getting my ass whooped when my mom and dad found out I smoked.
I mean, you know, Chris, I got 5 kids. None of my kids touch my vapes at all. None of them. From 4 years old all the way to 17, I've never seen one of my bottles of juice, mods, or anything moved because I educate my kids. That's my job to do. It's not my government's job. Mm-hmm. They have to get off their asses and do their jobs, man. That's the problem with fucking the world right now is that we're expecting everyone else to do something for us. When I grew up, if you wanted something, you fucking did it for yourself. You don't worry about someone else giving it to you. Get off your ass and do your job. Parents need to be held accountable for their kids doing it. Don't punish everybody else.
I got caught wagging school and smoking on the same day, and I thought, fuck, I'm going to have a bad day. I got took to the pub.
I got suspended from school and shit, and like literally I was just left to sit at home and play on my Nintendo all day. Like, you know, that was my punishment. Like, for real, like, it was just ridiculous because my mum had a job, so she went to work and I was, you know what I mean, I was left to my own devices. So really, stuff like that.
I started smoking at the age of 15, and my parents didn't know about it, or I didn't actually tell them to their face until I was 21, because I was petrified about what they'd say to that.
Yeah,
I used to smoke in front of my nan when I was 15, and in front of my dad and stuff like that. You know, like it was just in my family. It was just kind of accepted. But my dad, he had quit smoking for like a long time, but then he'd started again, and he didn't want to admit it to his mum, to my nan. So he used to, when he got home from work, he'd sit there all night in the house and not smoke a single cigarette. Like, you know, he'd just sit there all night, and I'd be sat there way and stuff like that. And my dad, at his age, was too scared. It's absolutely insane, you know. And it's one of these things that, in the end, when my mum found out that I did smoke, she used to buy me cigarettes in the shop, you know, and try to drive me and doing chores around the house with them. And this is what I'm saying. It's like, you know, that's bad parenting, really. You know, like that's bad parenting. This is the kind of thing we're talking about. And, you know, other people now, rather than actually having to turn around and say to their kids, no, stop, you're not allowed to do that, or this is bad, you know, just because you see me doing it, you know, like, you've still got to be, like, parenting's not a popularity contest.
No.
You know, you've got to actually be prepared. You can't be your kid's best friend and an effective parent at the same time. You can't. You've got to find that middle ground. And that's it. Sometimes you've got to be the bad guy. As a parent, you've got to be the bad guy. You've got to do stuff. And yeah, okay, it makes you feel like shit afterwards.
Bloody hell, Vic, you're showing your age there with Woodbines.
I started on
Park Drive.
Yeah, man. Our granddad used to smoke them.
Drug with licorice papers.
I'll tell you which ones I used to watch it. You know, the more cigarettes, the really stick thin ones.
Yeah.
And they were brown. I used to love chewing the paper on them. Liquid paper, weren't it, man?
No, I remember one of my
We can talk about
paper.
One of my
I used to pull the paper off them, man, and chew it. It was licorice paper.
I remember.
Yeah, I used to do that. Eat the licorice rolling paper. It was really nice. Just didn't like it when I smoked it.
There was just one guy and he used to smoke roll up after roll up, no filters. I mean, literally, the guy, John, his name, he used to smoke one after the other, and his fingers, they were yellow all the way up his hand. It was just yellow. where he was just sat there with a cigarette or a roll up lit in his hand, like all the time he was awake. He constantly had one in his hand, and I just used to look at him as a kid, and that didn't. Even though I saw that, I still smoked. You know what I'm saying? I still grew up to be a smoker. You know, so it's one of them things as well that them licorice Rizzlers are nasty, man. And
no, they were the bomb back in the day.
yeah, you don't see them that much now these days.
I haven't seen them for years, man.
No, but then again, I suppose everything behind the counter with a, you know, lots of ammunition in the UK, all the cigarettes and stuff, you know, it's got to be kept behind. So unless you specifically ask for anything, yeah. See, Vic, I never really got on with roll ups, mate. It was just something, you know, I just never really got on with them. I used to smoke good old Benson and Hedges, you know, which
BH were rough.
no, man, BH was like,
No, John Player specials were rough.
yeah, John Player Special,
God, yeah.
Marlboro.
They used to have fiberglass in them.
Yeah.
Butlers. Just,
they were fucking horrible.
No, I was an Embassy #1 man myself.
yeah, Embassy
Back in the day.
and Benson and Hedges.
Embassy filter for me.
Yeah, MC Filter. My stepdad, that's what he used to smoke, the little tiny ones.
Can I just say,
Two
that goes
blokes.
back to our previous comments when we said that Vinny used to be a chav back in the day.
Yeah.
Always smoked.
Oh, Embassy? Fuck's sake.
He was one of the posh chaps, though. He could get the Embassy #1.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, same as that, Vic. When I actually stopped smoking cigarettes totally, because for a while with me, like I won't lie, for the first year I was vaping, I still did smoke cigarettes sometimes, like, you know. But then in the end, I just when I did, the amount of shit that I coughed up, it was nasty. You know, and
We were saying that last week, weren't we, about how we bring all the stuff off our chests for a long while once we switch.
Some people, they'll blame that on vaping. They'll be like, "Oh, vaping's making me cough."
Yeah.
And you know, I've got a friend who's convinced that that vaping makes him come out in a rash because of the battery. So,
Big screen that.
Yeah, boy.
Alex is just owned me. I fully admit I'm a snowflake, though. That's not a new thing.
No, you don't. You don't have to admit it anymore. We know.
Yeah, see, Lambert and Butler were always the cheaper brand. Like back in, like they were like the cheaper brand, and like Embassy and Benson and Hedges and stuff. They were like the more expensive side. You know what I mean? More expensive. And then you had like Royal
Josh.
and stuff like that. Do you remember them Royals used to come in a pack of 25?
Yeah.
Yeah, red and white package.
Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah, my uncle Danny, I think that's what actually killed him, was them things. You know, but yeah.
They were stupid.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, it was pure marketing for me. The gold packet with the Benson and Hedges was what got me. It was just, do you know what I mean? It was literally the gold packet.
Sure.
Yeah. It went with all my chains and my rings. And
Did you have the gold grill?
no, I didn't have the gold grill, mate. But yeah, I used to wear loads of chains. I used to wear loads of chains with a wife beater everywhere.
DJ Hot Wheels.
£2 each for a pack of 20 Embassy. £2
Yeah, I remember when I first started smoking, you could buy 10 Embassy #1 for 92p.
Yeah.
So like,
I think 20 Embassy #1 now is like £11.
yeah. Grab it.
I used to be able to go to school on a Monday, get my dinner tickets, sell them, go to the shop, buy 10 fags, sell 8 of them at 50p each. I was sorted.
No, for my kids. Do you know what? For my kids to have dinners at school now, I've got to give consent for the school to take their fingerprint so that they can go and put their thumb away.
Yeah, I'd have to do that as well, Andy. My kid has to do that. I know.
No, I'm not. I'm not giving the school. I'm not giving anybody my kids' fingerprints. Like,
Really?
yeah, that's not happening. Like, I think that's bullshit that kids have got to do that. Like, I think that's just like one of these things where it's just okay. Yeah, I
Bloody
get
hell, Vic, £9.
Yesterday I was in a local shop getting some sugar. The guy in front of me buying a pack of 20 Super King for £9. Yeah, it used to be 150. Crazy. Do you know what? Like, I don't know. A lot of the money is tobacco taxes, though. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the government that, like they keep putting up every year with the budget. A packet of cigarettes is going to go up 20p or whatever it is, like, and that's how it used to be. Yeah, we used to be able to get single as well from Sid, the Asian shop. It was on a corner.
I remember them days.
Yeah. And used to go down there, and he'd have what we call looses, like loose fags. So you go in there and you just be like,
Yeah, man, singles.
Yeah, can have two loose.
Singles, we call them, man.
We call them Lucy's.
Yeah, loose. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the UK, smoking's been kind of looked on as antisocial for quite a while now. Anyway, so I think that the numbers today compared to say when I was a teenager of like kids smoking, I think there'd be a massive, massive difference.
Yeah, they're also busy in the gym now.
Yeah, or straightening their hair.
Getting shredded for Love Island.
Love Island. You know what? I don't watch any of that shit. That reality
No.
TV.
Yeah, same here.
Do you know what I mean? Who wants to sit there and watch just a load of people talking shit for ages? Oh, wait a minute. Eradicated by 20. They're going to take that out of it. Yeah, I mean, it got leaked about the 2030, and wasn't it? Was it Marlboro that said they were going to be cigarette free or whatever by 2029, which seemed a bit convenient, given the date that had just been leaked by the government. Yeah, at the moment
that's only good news, though, Vic, as well. I think.
But could that change, though? Could lobbyists come over here from the US? Do you know what I'm saying? And make it change? Make the NHS take a different approach. I don't know.
I was worried when the World Health Organization started bashing vaping and things like that. But at the minute, they've got much bigger fish to be dealing with the coronavirus going on and everything. So that seems to have backed down a little bit at the minute. But if their stance still remained anti-vaping, it could cause issues down the line. Could cause issues. But at the minute, the government is behind vaping, like Vic said, completely behind vaping, because they see it as a better alternative and a way of saving the NHS billions upon billions.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at, Nick. Was like, I watch reality TV, but basically, yeah. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, there are always going to be parents. There are always going to be people that are going to want everybody else to police their household, their family, whatever. And them type of people, it's like I've said before, you can't educate pork, unfortunately, and you'll be just wasting your time talking to them. Some of them, let's have a look. Public Health England Royal College, tensions are strained at best. They don't like each other.
No, they don't at all.
Yeah, I mean, but this is the thing, like, can the World Health Organization, can they actually override anything and do anything? Can they? Like, what can they do apart from voice their
Not as such override it. They give recommendations. At the moment, they cannot override anything. But they do have quite a substantial influence.
Yeah, but come on, we've seen it happen in the UK before when they set up like panel of experts about legalizing cannabis for medicinal and personal use, and they came back and they advised. It was like an advisory board for the government. And when they came back and they advised the government they should decriminalize all drugs or this, that, and the other, the government just basically went, no, we're not going to do that, and basically shut the board down. That Professor Nut guy got the elbow. Because he said that more people have been killed doing horse riding than taking MDMA for it or ecstasy or whatever, and they just basically focused on that. Although people can turn around and say it just depends on whether or not our government are prepared to listen to it.
Acapella on the taxing side, as far as I know at the minute, the discussions seem to be aimed at taxing purely the nicotine. That's the way it's looking from the UK side at the minute, anyway. Hopefully, that is the way it's going to stay. Seemingly, it's not going to be aimed at devices, the taxes that they're discussing that will be added. It will purely be on the nicotine.
I mean, hasn't it been shown now, proven that nicotine's not actually harmful in itself? Like, has this not been proved? Like, recently, there was some stuff.
No, it doesn't cause cancer. Nicotine doesn't cause cancer. It's toxic. If you drink it, it will kill you.
High doses, yeah.
Yeah, but what I mean is in the way that we use it. Do you get what I'm saying? They basically say, vaping nicotine. It's not.
Yeah, no, it's classified exactly the same as caffeine.
It's a stimulant.
It's a stimulant in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a naturally occurring stimulant as well. Itself gets taxed. That's really going to hit the DIY folks who buy 72 milligram 500 ml bottles though, and it is, but isn't that illegal anyway? Like according to TPD,
come on, we all know they can still get it.
They're still getting it. So I don't see, I doubt that these people that are selling it illegally are really paying any tax on it. If I'm honest,
Well, I don't you can buy it on eBay.
Yeah.
Well, you could do until recently. It's actually been stopped now. You can't actually get it on eBay anymore.
Probably get it.
The Nick Station, a website, they sell it still. And you can get it from there. But yeah.
I mean, it's one of these things that it's like I say, everybody says, get Vinny, I digress. Why should tobacco companies be allowed by law to become e-cigarette companies? They shouldn't. They should be banned.
That's business, unfortunately. That's the nature of business.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. There's no, all you can do is you can talk with your wallet. Do you know what I'm saying? And just don't support them. I mean, that's literally all you can do. You can educate other people and about them companies, and you can just not support them yourself.
Educate.
But other than that, there isn't a lot that can be done. And I'm not for a moment suggesting that it's a good thing that these that tobacco companies are in the vaping industry, but the fact is they are, and nobody can stop them. And as much as I disagree with it,
on the other side of the coin, we have discussed, we should boycott, we should do this, we should do that.
Is that what's causing the problems though? Blocking them from stopping them to the pie?
Well, no, but
it could well be, actually.
They've got unfortunately, they have got their place.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. As much as I don't want them in the industry or anything, it's not up to me for a start. But it's definitely unethical. But we're talking about tobacco companies, Acapella. Come on, man! They've been how
many billions of trillions of deaths have they got in their hands?
That's what I'm saying. As much as I agree with you, it's one of these things, and I honestly do believe that if you keep pushing back like that against companies that are trying, tobacco companies that are thinking, because some of them are okay, the smoking thing's dying, vaping's the new thing, we need to get into that. and they're getting a load of negativity and they're getting blocked and this and that and the other. So maybe, you know, that might force them to carry on lobbying the government about tobacco and about vaping and this and that and the other. I don't know. But yeah, that's just like
See, my opinion on the tobacco companies getting involved in vaping has changed quite a lot. I was completely against it to the point where I, at one point, was naming and shaming the companies that tobacco companies had bought that people didn't know about. But now I've changed my view slightly, because at the end of the day, they're still getting smokers vaping. Now, them smokers can start on a basic pod kit that's been given by a tobacco company, and then in 8 months' time, they could be on a mechanical device.
It's where they progress to. At the end of the day, it's a start to get them on the, you know, and that's where we come back to educating again, because it's like, you know, you get them started on that, and then we can, you know, teach them about the other things as well. You know what I mean?
What I think on that is, it's like they're playing devil's advocate. They're trying to play two parties at the same time. If they just sacked off the cigarette side of it and focus on the vaping, would we still have the same sort of problem with tobacco companies becoming vape?
Well, that's what Marlboro are saying they're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in another, how many, 8, 9 years?
Yeah.
9 years, yeah.
But for a company the size of Marlboro to be able to then turn their whole business over from one product to a completely different one, 9 years is actually pretty quick for them, you know.
But the thing is, we're supposed to go smoke-free by 2030. The UK is supposed to be smoke-free by 2030.
Yeah,
so that means a year before they're going to drop all their cigarettes. That side's convenient.
Yeah.
The timescale they're stated, but
not being
it's still
funny.
a good step.
I mean, I'm not being funny, but these companies have been involved in the vape scene for a number of years now, so they know exactly what's needed. They've got the money to make it, and if they wanted to make it in the space of a week, they could.
Yeah.
So, you know, them saying, yeah, oh well, 9 years time, bollocks, man. Do it now.
Nothing stopping them.
Well,
that's it.
There's a lot of people that won't buy their products. So do you know what I mean? There is something stopping them, and I think that's why they're probably look. I'm not defending them by any means, but like I'm just saying that, you know, as a business model, for them to just be like, right, that's it, we're stopping all smoking. We haven't got a foothold in the vaping industry, but fuck it, we'll have a go anyway. Don't forget, you'll get somebody then to convince a whole board of people that are going to vote on that have all got, you know, their futures and their money and everything all staked in that.
Oh yeah.
And this is the thing.
I'm quite interested. Sorry, I'll be quite interested if Vic's still in the chat to get his opinion on the smoking industry and vaping, as someone whose business relies on doing reviews and things like that. I don't know if he's still in the chat or not, but I'd be quite interested to get Vic's take on the tobacco industries and vaping and see what he thinks about that. I hope he's still there. Sorry, Andy, for interrupting you, by the way.
Carry on, mate.
Vic, are you there?
Vic.
Hello.
Hello, Vic.
Hello.
Hello, Vic.
Like I was saying out, I mean, when in the same street as a vape shop that can
Here we go.
I can't see you.
Yeah, by the end of next year.
Yep.
tobacco industry will take over the starter kit market by the end of 2021. That's a given.
Yeah.
You know, and people can try and fight that all you want, but it's already happening.
Well, they have the money to adapt.
I mean, who owns? Is it Logic Company, the prison?
He says Inikin are making or already making kits for British American.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I can quite believe that as well. You know, and this is the thing, and you can try. Everybody can put their hands up in the air about it and stuff, but you know, it's one of these things. Like these companies, it's business to them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like this company, they don't care if it's for a tobacco company. Do you know what I mean? Inikin, whoever. You know, they'll make them products because, you know, tobacco companies have got the money as well. This is the other thing. They've got the deep pockets in this situation. You know, it's the amount of profit that they've been making for the amount of time that they've been making it. So, you know, like to even think that they're not going to be involved in the industry in some sort of way is just wishful thinking, you know, and I think that, yeah.
And Vic, you nicely dodged the question. I asked you what your thoughts was on the tobacco industry getting involved in vaping.
I know,
But you nicely dodged the question.
like Bob, that one.
It's no the
I'm going to say this now. The coronavirus is now the process.
Yeah.
Uses what move up a lot of companies next month. Personally, I don't like it. That's kind of my thoughts on it, Vic. Is as much as I don't like it, you know, what are you going to do? You know,
Yeah, that's exactly where I've got to, Vic, as well. Really.
yeah.
Personally,
I don't like it, but you can't fight it. I'm saying I don't like them. But if it means moving people from cigarettes to vaping, it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't, in a way.
This is what I'm saying. Look, right, we're talking about them getting, you know, doing starter kits. So they are actually actively trying to get people to move over to them. Yeah, to vaping. And everybody started off with a starter kit, right? I know I did. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, who here started off with wasn't a starter kit? Anybody? What did you start off with?
I started off with a Cleto 120. I think that was my first one. I went straight for Subbo. Didn't have a starter kit at all.
Yeah, but like it's still a starter kit, if you know what I mean. Because back then that was all that was really around. Like there was either a sub-ohm or, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like my first kit. Okay,
no mouth lung systems or anything like that, or ego pens for me. I didn't do any of that. I went straight on to Subbo. So I know you had a load of the old
stuff.
I started on a Inikin. Sorry, was it? Yeah, an Inikin MVP 2.0 with MTL tank, old silicon wicks, the lot.
Like
35
I mean,
with juice. Nice vaping name.
Yeah, 100% right there. That's where it is. Is the stock coils. You know, as I've said before, the amount of stock coils that I used to sell on eBay was fucking phenomenal. You know, the Aspire Nautilus coils back when the Nautilus tank came out. I mean, I was getting them by the pallet load and selling them all day, all night on eBay. It was my main thing. You know, I used to sell.
See, my thing with the tobacco industry stepping in to make starter kits. There is a way to fight that if we come together as an industry and get out there and educate people and we boycott those companies and we force it, like people have to stop supporting these ginormous tobacco industry companies. If they can start going towards helping these real vape companies that are educated and believe in the industry, then we rise up. You know what I'm saying? If we keep going and supporting these fucking tobacco-driven companies, then yeah, they're going to continue to grow and they're going to continue to squash everybody out.
Oh yeah.
The thing is, though,
I'm not saying to support them. I'm not saying. Do you know what I mean? I'm not suggesting.
Oh yeah, I know. I was reading the comments. I'm going off the comments.
Yeah. You know, and I think that's like all. Acapella, I know that he feels really strongly about this, you know, because the way that he sees it is, you know, they've sold the sickness and now they're trying to sell you the cure, you know, and, you know, it's double standards, like, you know, and, you know, if anything, is it a conflict of interest within themselves, within their own company? If you think about it, if you've got one division of it that's doing vape stuff, and then you've got another division of it that's trying to keep the tobacco side alive, is that a conflict? You know, like that must be a pretty hard thing to deal with in a company, you know, when you've got all of this controversy going on as well.
You see, but also I'm going to mention now, I let me think, about a year ago, was approached by a tobacco company that had bought into a vape device. And they basically tried to bribe me to give them a preferential review. I obviously didn't accept it and didn't do the review. But that was back then. I mean, that was a long while ago. A long while ago. That was not long after I started reviewing, actually. And then I looked on YouTube and saw how many sort of low-end reviewers were reviewing these products and giving them favourable reviews. So obviously, at some point, these companies perhaps are applying dirty tactics in a way, I suppose, by approaching reviewers to get favourable reviews.
Yeah.
As well, which surprised me.
Is that something that they just do, or is that something that other vape companies also do?
That's the only time that was the only time someone has basically tried to bribe me for a review. That was a long while ago. They offered me what was it they offered me? I had a choice of a couple of £1,000. I hope the wife's not watching because she'll go mad that I didn't take it. Or a weekend in London with a limo, 5-star hotel, and to some TV award ceremony, all expenses paid. I didn't take any of it, but I hope the wife don't watch this and see that I've turned down money.
I mean, it's like, in a perfect world, AMC, yeah, I agree with you. But unfortunately, I just can't ever see that happening as much as I'd like it to. I just can't see anyone banning anybody from selling anything in any sort of industry. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like...
Well, that also goes back to what we were talking about everyone banding together. Like, you would have to get everyone together for us to actually boycott that. And there's just too many people out there that aren't actually a part of the industry. They might vape, but they're not.
Might go to a vape shop. Let's not forget, there's high street shops all over the UK that are just full of them products and nothing else, right? And you go in there, and that's literally all there is just pods, starter kits, and the TPD pen mill.
Most vape shops, a lot of vape shops are like that now.
Yep. It's only the specialist vape shops. I mean, my local ones, you go in there and the only coils and stuff you can buy are the Vupu pre-made, machine-made type coils. And they've only just recently started doing them. It's they haven't got a lot of choice there for there's no RDAs there. There's nothing there for the rebuildable type. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's all just based around stock coils. That's what they do for the most part. Is people come in, they buy coils, they buy juice, they leave, they come back when they need more. You do get a group of people that hang around in there. Do you know what I mean? That that are obviously like vape enthusiasts that go in there and they hang around and they all start. And I see information being shared and people talking about stuff and people educating each other. And I think that it's only in them specialist shops where they let people hang out and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? That you'll get that kind of thing happening, because a lot of the other shops, they don't even want to get into a conversation with you. They just want to sell you something. And they're like, look, I want to get back to Facebook or whatever the fuck it is they're doing on their phone. And they've got absolutely no interest or no knowledge about vaping whatsoever. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. And them shops, I'll go in there and have a look around, but I never ever buy anything from there. I just, but they're the shops that we don't need.
I would love to have a vape shop that caters for things that I like, and stuff for the hobbyist kind of thing, for guys like us. Somewhere where we can actually sit back, chill, and relax. Yes, we know Rabbit does, but he's kind of in America. I'm in the UK. It's a bit of a distance to, just pop down and chill out for a bit.
I love that, Vic. China equals the bloke. It will comply or be assimilated. Vic showing his Trekkie side there.
I don't know. I like Star Trek. I don't know about anybody else. Anybody been watching that there's a new one, Picard.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
I fucking love it.
Netflix. Yeah.
I love it. And 7 of 9 appeared right at the
Whoa,
end of
whoa,
it.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh,
What-
Oh, spoiler alert!
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert!
whoa. Easy,
Jesus, Andy.
Andy, come on.
Come on, look, it's not my fault you're all living in fucking last week.
Oh,
No
Mute
spoilers.
him. Mute him quick.
Hey, look, right, it's Sunday. It aired on Friday. What the fuck do you want from me? Do you know what I
it
mean?
wasn't working.
I've been putting it off so I could binge it.
It's on it, yeah. It's on the streaming set. Right, okay. Right, so fuck you, all of you. Yeah.
He did it.
No, I'm old school Trekkie. I used to love the James Kirk ones, and yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Do you know what, Lo? That Discovery, I didn't find it too bad. It was okay, but
Oh no, it was tosh.
yeah, this is a lot better. When I say it's okay, I mean, come on, it was all right. But I preferred all the older ones. Not so much the original, like Kirk and stuff.
Next gen.
But yeah, Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine is fucking awesome.
We won't talk about Enterprise because it's crap.
Yeah, Enterprise was crap. Right. I thought that was going to be really good as well, and it just wasn't.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it was just disappointing. But this is the one thing as well I will say is, did you see that there was the woman on Picard and she was vaping? Did anyone see it? She was vaping.
Was there? No.
Yeah, she was vaping. She was
Episode 3.
vaping. Yeah, she was vaping some sort of illegal herb. Yeah. Wow. Nothing new there, brother. Nothing new there.
Makes it change. It's normally me.
He's just medicated, bro.
Yeah.
He's been at the Calpol again.
Right then. Rabbit, I understand you had a little rant you wanted to get off your chest, brother.
Yes. All right.
Let's get it on.
It's okay. So we were talking about a bunch of stuff a couple minutes ago about shops and stuff, and I actually had something happen just recently that I'd like to get into. So a customer messages me. Actually, I'm gonna pull it up so I can read it to y'all, so I don't misquote.
So he's going to pull it out then.
Yeah, I'm gonna whip it. Let me whip it out. Where is it? All right, here we go.
Out and wipe it.
Okay, so a customer messages me, and it's kind of funny how it starts because I'll just read it to y'all, and y'all can see how it's funny. So it says, "Hey," and they send me a picture of something, and they say, "I sent you that because it isn't 21 plus yet in Tennessee. How I know this is I have a friend that is 19 and his friend works at a vape shop and they found this on the internet." So I said, my response is, okay, well, it definitely is 21 plus. And they said, well, no, that's from the FDA. I said, first off, anything can be printed, anything to help somebody make a sale. I can literally go into my office right now, make up something that says directly from the FDA, says that the rabbit hole can only sell to 16-year-olds and up for the rest of his career as a vape shop owner. Make that, and I could show it to people. It's real easy to print something. I said, first of all, it is federal law, not state. Federal. That means all over the United States, it is 21 plus. T21.
Yep.
I said, Tennessee did not say that you could still sell 18 plus. What they said was they were not going to enforce it yet. That does not change what the FDA is doing. The FDA is enforcing this law. And then I proceeded to post on a group on Facebook that we have shop owners from all over the U.S. And I got screenshots of all the shop owners talking about how they're enforcing the T21. And a matter of fact, one shop owner posted a picture of a piece of paper 4 days ago. The FDA was in her shop, and she said, The FDA was in my shop 4 days ago. T21 is in effect all over the United States. They checked my signage. They made sure we weren't selling flavored disposable pods and made sure that we weren't selling to anyone under the age of 21. And then she posted a picture of the paper from the FDA with the date on it and all the signatures and stuff like that. So if there's anyone in my area or in this state that's watching this show, T21 is a federal law signed by the President of the United States. That is federal. The rabbit hole is 21 plus. Not saying I agree with it, but that is the law. So for the shops that are close by me that are still selling to kids, I hope the FDA shows up next week. This is bullshit. Like, you're telling me that you're making stuff up to make sales just to make a few dollars. That's it. Like,
that's fucked up. That is fucked
That
up.
is really fucked up.
think about how amazing it would be if everyone just came together and did things like you're fucking supposed to. Think about how amazing that would be. What a world we would live in. Like, you've got so many of these shady ass shops that don't give a shit about this industry. They don't care about the long haul of this fucking industry. They don't care about the fact that this industry is built on helping save lives. They care about filling their fucking bank account before they have to close up. That's what they care about. I'm so over it, man. And I know the name of the shop. She sent me the name. And y'all are really lucky that I don't say it out on the air, because I would love to. But I'm not going to, because that's not the kind of shit I do. But I'm telling you, stop selling to people under the fucking age. It is the law. Stop it.
It's just going to fuck it up even more.
It's precisely that problem which has drawn all of the attention in the first place.
Yeah. Like, that's the exact shit that's causing us to have the fucking attention of the teen epidemic, the fucking underage epidemic, and all this crap. It's these shops like this. I guarantee you there's shops like that all over the place that are probably still selling to kids because they don't give a shit. And I pray to God the FDA shows up and hits those shops.
Oh, damn, mate. That is shocking.
I just hope that they don't, because that will just shed a bad light on vaping shops as well at the same time. Although I really want them to get what they deserve, unfortunately, it will highlight some negativity in the vape. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
but think about it. If they sting, like, say they sting like 300 C stores, convenience stores, I guess y'all call them shops there. If they sting like 300 shops and then 4 of them are caught, it's not going to make the whole C store look bad, because it's just those 3 bad shops. I welcome the FDA to come by my shop. Like, I welcome that shit. They're more than happy, because we have our signage up on the door. Matter of fact, I have 2 signs up before you walk in the shop. I also have one at the register, and I also card anybody that walks into my shop. Everybody. Because that's what you're supposed to do. So for the shops that are selling to fucking people that are not old enough and not abiding by the laws, that's from Rabbit. If you don't like it, you know where the hole is. Swing on by and we can have a chat about it. And I'll explain to you why you're fucking up the industry that I love and I fight for. And maybe we can actually turn you around and start doing good instead of being a fucking cocksucker looking for money.
That is,
Yeah, that's just low lives.
Did you see what Zippy said to you, Rabbit?
No.
No, I believe that as well. You have a legal obligation, and I assume he means an ethical obligation, personal obligation to report their ass.
Man, honestly, I talked to a couple of buddies about that, and it's really hard for me to do something like that because of the way I grew up. And I get it. I do. I understand. You know, my wife even told me, she's like, it's not snitching. It's just, I've had a rough life. I've been through a lot of shit. I've been to prison. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up in a rough place, and I've done some stupid shit as a kid, but I worked hard to become the man that I am and to do right by people. And that's what I focus on today. And yes, do I want to? Absolutely, I do. But it's really hard for me to look away from, that kind of mentality that I've grown up with, where you don't call the cops, you don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really hard for me. And I know I should, but I'm just hoping, I am praying that maybe by getting the word out there and talking to other shop owners that are doing it the right way, that maybe the shops that are not will actually hear about it and try to fucking straighten up.
I agree, Zip.
Sorry, I'm reading comments. Yeah, you're right, Zip. It's just frustrating, man. Like, that's why I was sitting back and being quiet for 30 minutes, because I was just I was kind of conflicted about talking about it, because sometimes I'll get on a topic that I'm super passionate about and I might say stuff that I don't, that I shouldn't. But that's the kind of shit that bothers me, man. That's why we're under fire like we are right now. It's because of the dumbasses that don't want to follow the fucking rules, man. Like, there's a reason that we have regulations. There's a reason that back in, 2014, we self-regulated our industry. Like, we started doing that for a reason. We started doing that because we didn't want them to come in and take it from us. And now, because a lot of people didn't do what they were fucking supposed to do, now we've got them coming at us and trying to shut us the fuck down. Just imagine if we would have shut the fuck up 6 years ago. Like, we wouldn't even have to worry about none of this shit right now, because they would say, oh, look, they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. But instead, you got these assholes out here that don't care about none of that, man. They just want a quick buck. I even had someone tell me they call it a cash grab. We got to get a cash grab before the industry falls under. I don't believe the industry is going to fall under. I don't give a fuck about a cash grab. I'm here to fight these motherfuckers until there's nothing left to fight for. Like, we have a fucking obligation, man. Like, this is our chance to save fucking lives, and we're sitting here pissing it away over a couple fucking dollars. Like, that shit is frustrating to me. You don't think I can make extra money by selling to these 19 and 20-year-olds that come in my shop and I got to send them away because their IDs aren't old enough? Yes, I could make extra money, but I don't give a fuck about that extra couple dollars. Like, we're trying to stop something here that's super important. We have millions of fucking lives that depend on this industry. People that have no idea that there's a better way and that they don't have to fucking smoke cigarettes anymore. They don't have to take this shit and fucking end up sick and dying like my mother, like my fucking family members, like my friends. Like, we don't have to deal with this shit anymore. We don't. We have a better alternative. Every one of us in here fucking found it. And we have a chance to show everyone else about it. And we got people trying to fucking destroy it over money, man. Like, that is fucking heartbreaking. You can make money anywhere. And you can make money in this fucking industry and still do it the right way. But it's not fucking doing it the wrong way. You're destroying something that every one of us loves because you want to make a quick fucking buck. A quick buck. Just think about if you did it right and your shop was here for 10, 20, 30 years, how good you'd be doing. But no, you're worried about getting that money in before fucking May and June and July hit, when we're all scrambling around scared because of the fucking PMTAs. And everyone's like, well, fuck, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, you should have thought about that 4 fucking years ago when we were supposed to be fixing this shit. Instead of running around like a chicken with your head cut off because it's the end of days. Like, wake up, people. Like, we have got to wake up. All this negative bullshit and fighting over making a fucking dollar is stupid. Like, we're talking about saving people's lives. There is nothing more important on this planet than that. Nothing. And we're putting money above that. Money. I would literally give away every fucking thing I have. My house, my car, and my shop to have one more fucking day with my mom. Just one. But I can't because that's already gone. But we have an opportunity to save the next person's mom. Or the next person's fucking uncle or dad or grandmother. We have that opportunity. All we have to do is wake up and start fighting together.
Amen.
Wow. Definitely, Robert. Love the passion, bro. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Rabbit's truth bombs.
Yep. Dropping big ones.
That was more like a nuke.
I didn't mean to get crazy, man. It's just this
It's
stuff.
perfectly fine, mate. You know that.
This stuff means more to me than most people understand. Like, I love this industry with everything I have, and I will give everything I have for this industry. I will. And anyone who knows me knows that. I just want people to wake up. I want people to stop being petty about little things that don't matter. They really don't matter. If you look at the big picture, all those little petty things do not matter at all. We should all be fighting for one thing, and that's saving this fucking industry that we care about. That's the only thing that we should be focused on.
Yeah.
Personally, people that
Wow.
are doing that in this industry really need to be named, shamed, and just chased out of the industry. End of.
Yeah. They don't. Yeah.
There shouldn't
I
be
agree
allowed.
with that, Chris. I actually agree with something that Chris has just said.
What the
Wow. Yeah.
It is the end of days.
I mean, look, we should just find
Yeah.
bullshit.
Chris has brought about the apocalypse. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Here we go. Here comes the apocalypse.
Yeah, my floor just split open and there's a demon crawling out.
Well, there was a demon crawling out of somewhere the other bloody day.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Jesus.
It's your fault,
He has to
Vinny.
lower
You
the
told
tone.
them.
Yeah. You won't know.
Well, I wouldn't
Yeah,
exactly
don't
say
see
crawling
this.
out. It's more like rushing out.
Yeah, that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah, that's it. No more, Chris.
We are live, Chris.
Somebody mute that mic.
I can unmute again, you know.
Oh, God, who showed him how to do that?
I knew before you lot figured it out. Because
Oh,
Vinny
Jesus.
kept bloody muting me just for shits and giggles.
Has anyone got anything else they want to say?
No, I'm good.
We love you, leaguers.
Yeah.
You keep
Thanks
it clouded.
Right, I'll do a quick final word. Let me just get me on screen.
Oh, God.
If I don't crash doing it.
I got
That's a
you.
scary sight.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Good
We've
job, Rabbit.
seen, obviously, I mentioned at the start of the show about the UK scene losing a fellow vapor. Life's fragile, people. Life's short. We need to lose the negativity and turn it into positivity. If I'm going to ask you all who's watching and watches it back, if you see any negativity aimed at vaping, speak up. If you see any negativity in any groups towards vapors for things they've asked, stand up, speak up. We've got to love each other, people. We've got to love each other. It's a short life and we need to make the most of it. And we need to get as many smokers vaping as we can do. And that comes down to everyone. Everyone out there can do that. And that's it. And thank you all for watching. All the comments, everyone in chat, thank you very much for your activity and your feedback in the chat. Remember, if you need to contact us, the lxvvapers@gmail.com. Drop us an email if you need anything. And yeah, love you all. Thank you very much for watching. And thank you,
you
guys.
guys.
See you
Enjoy
guys.
the rest of your night.
See you next week.